Have you ever been to an NBA game and seen the crowd active and alive? That's normal, right? But let's say you were at this game where a player is trying to do a free throw and you are hearing fans screaming something outrageous at him, and suddenly you see a fan throw a drink at the player, but that's not all. Another fan storms onto the court, security tries to stop him, and before you know it, chaos. Yeah, the NBA has all of these kinds of people, taunting players, throwing hard things, and even getting into physical fights. These fans may be wild, but they always make these moments unforgettable. But there are no unforgettable moments like the day the NBA saw its greatest chaos. It's often referred to as the Malice at the Palace. The Malice at the Palace. It was November 19th, 2004, a day that would completely change the NBA. The Indiana Pacers and Detroit Pistons were playing at the Palace of Auburn Hills when Ron Artest fouled Ben Wallace hard. Wallace shoved Artest and things got heated fast. Players yelled, shoved, and tried to hold each other back. It was the kind of scuffle that usually dies down, except that this time it didn't. This is what happened exactly. Artest, trying to stay out of it, lay back on the scorer's table. It seemed like he was cooling off. Then a fan threw a drink at Artest. In a flash, Artest rushed into the stands, fists swinging, but he went after the wrong guy. Fans jumped in. Steven Jackson ran up and punched a fan. Jermaine O'Neal nearly knocked another out. And all chaos broke loose. Players and fans were both caught up in the mess. Afterwards, there were heavy consequences. Artest was suspended for the rest of the season, 73 games, the longest suspension in NBA history. Jackson got 30 games. O'Neal got 25. Several fans, including Green, were banned for life, including legal cases and major changes to security. But more than the drama and headlines, the event left a deep mark on both the players and the fans. Pacers coach Rick Carlisle explained, quote, "I felt like I was fighting for my life out there. It made people wonder, how far can you go before the lines between athlete and fan blur? Was it just a one-time incident, or did it reveal bigger problems with fan behavior and safety?" The game stopped with 45.9 seconds left, the Pacers leading 97-82. 9 people got hurt and 2 went to the hospital. Some say it was a wake-up call for the NBA, while others blame both players and fans. The question still stands, could it have been avoided? Because this wasn't the last time fans crossed the line. In Philadelphia, a fan dumped popcorn on Russell Westbrook as he walked off injured. In Atlanta, hecklers screamed at LeBron James until security kicked them out. A fan even ran onto the court to hug Carmelo Anthony. The rise of superfans. Have you ever met someone who takes being a fan to another level? Some people just don't love basketball, they make it their life. One of these people is Nav Bhatia, known as the Raptors Superfan. Since 1995, he's been at every home game for the Toronto Raptors. His love for the team doesn't stop at the arena. His community work earned him a spot on the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 2020. Then there's James Goldstein, who's attended over 2,000 NBA games. You'll often find him courtside. He went beyond just being a fan in his commitment to the game. But superfans like Bhatia and Goldstein aren't the only ones turning heads. The NBA has had plenty of fans who don't just watch, they make things happen. Think about Spike Lee. He's been riding for the Knicks for decades. But in May 1994, during the Eastern Conference Finals, his passion backfired. The Indiana Pacers were down by 6 with 18 seconds left when Reggie Miller turned into a nightmare for New York. He drained 2 quick threes, then stared down Spike, letting him know he was the reason the Pacers pulled it off. That moment, it stuck. Or take Clipper Darrell. You can't miss him. Decked out in red and blue, yelling from the stands, dancing like it's his job. He's been so into the game that he's actually been kicked out of a Clippers home game. Some say he brings the energy, others say he crosses the line. Either way, he never blends into the crowd. And then there's Drake, not just a fan, a character in this story. When the Raptors made the 2019 NBA Finals, he wasn't just clapping from the sidelines, he was talking trash to Draymond Green, shouting at Kevin Durant, and rubbing Nick Nurse's shoulders in the middle of the game. The NBA warned him to chill out, but let's be real, he didn't. Here's where it gets interesting. What really makes someone a superfan? Is it never missing a game? Is it being loud enough to shake a player's confidence? Or is it about something bigger? Bhatia and Goldstein prove one thing: some fans will always matter more. They don't just watch, they shape the game's history. Courtside or online, real passion still stands out. The question is, who's next? Dance Cam Mom's viral fame. Not every NBA fan needs courtside seats or a big voice to steal the show. Sometimes all it takes is a sweater and some dance steps. In 2016, Robin Schreiber, better known as Dance Cam Mom, went viral after her dance moves were seen by most people in the Golden State Warriors game. She was wearing a bright blue Christmas sweater. Her energy stood out in a sea of serious competition, and fans loved how she turned the game into a celebration. Her energy was so real that even Steph Curry and Klay Thompson took notice. The Warriors' social media team jumped in, and soon she wasn't just a fan, she was part of the experience. The team invited her back, gave her prime seats, and let her perform at halftime. She even ended up on NBA TV and national morning shows, all because of a simple moment of joy. She wasn't the only fan to make an impact this way. The Pelicans' dancing usher had his own moment, challenging fans to dance battles. The Cleveland dancing granny proved age didn't matter when it came to having fun. These fans stood out, not because they had the best moves, but because they brought something special to the game: energy, fun, and a break from the intensity. The sixth man of Philadelphia. Some fans just watch the game. Alan Horwitz lives it. Also known as the sixth man of the Philadelphia 76ers, he's had season tickets for more than 60 years. His presence courtside, shaking hands with players and sharing moments with other fans, makes him an unforgettable figure at Wells Fargo Center. Over the years, he's built personal connections with players and coaches, even engaging in lighthearted banter. It's not just about sitting courtside for Horwitz, it's about the bond he's formed with the team. When Tobias Harris joined the team, Horwitz personally welcomed him, making sure he felt at home. Players notice that kind of loyalty. Joel Embiid once pointed right at him after a big moment, a sign of the respect that goes both ways. His relationship with the 76ers has grown through time, and his commitment is what makes him stand out. But that hasn't always been easy. The Sixers have had tough losses, coaching changes, and seasons that tested fans' patience. Horwitz stuck around. Even when things got frustrating, he stayed because for him, it's bigger than wins and losses. But how do these connections affect the game, both for the players and the fans watching? Players have said that passionate fans push them to play harder, and Horwitz is proof of that. He's not just watching the game, he's part of what makes the Wells Fargo Center feel like home. The passion of Dancing Harry. Some fans cheer, some wave signs, but in the 70s, Marvin Cooper, better known as Dancing Harry, turned NBA games into a show of their own. Whether he was at New York Knicks games or Baltimore Bullets games, his dances along the sidelines always got attention. Fans loved how his performances gave the game a lighter feel. Dancing Harry made himself part of the NBA experience. It wasn't just about dancing, it was about entertaining and creating memories. Harry had his own style, casting spells on opponents, waving his arms like a magician, and getting the crowd fired up. Some players admitted that his energy was contagious, even affecting the way they played. During the Knicks' 1975 playoff run, his antics had the entire arena on its feet, fueling the team's momentum at a critical moment. Not everyone was on board, though. Coaches and officials sometimes saw him as a distraction, and security had to step in more than once. But Harry never stopped. For him, it wasn't just about having fun, it was about bringing people together, giving fans something to rally behind no matter the score. Why do fans still talk about him today? Could it be because he was one of the first to blend fan excitement with entertainment at such a high level? The dedication of Robin Ficker. Some fans cheer, some boo, then there's Robin Ficker, who made heckling at Washington Wizards games his personal job. He would sit behind the opposing team's bench, taunting players and trying to get under their skin. His loud and constant remarks became so well known that even NBA players like Charles Barkley talked about him. Ficker didn't just yell, he studied. He dug into players' pasts, pulled out lines from their own books, and threw their mistakes back at them. Imagine trying to focus while someone behind you reads your autobiography out loud, twisting your words into a distraction. That was his strategy. Even NBA legends took notice. Charles Barkley, one of the toughest guys in the game, got so fed up that he sent Ficker a treadmill, saying he had way too much energy. Some players shrugged him off. Michael Jordan thrived on pressure, but others struggled to ignore him. Coaches hated him, with some even trying to get him banned from games. Love him or hate him, he left his mark. He's not courtside anymore, but still people bring up his name when they talk about superfans. So was he just a passionate fan, or did he cross the line? Depends on who you ask. But one thing's for sure, Robin Ficker made sure no one forgot him. Those fans are really passionate or maybe crazy. Well, it doesn't matter. What really matters is what their action created. And for most of them, it created great experiences for players and fans watching the games. Which of them do you think was the most passionate? Let us know in the comments section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel to get crazier stories on the NBA.